will be herbal, digital, and spiritual. Digital has happened. No question, the digital public infrastructure. Would you have ever imagined the most unbanked country in the world will have 46.2% share of mobile transactions in the world, almost half? How has it happened? Because of the digital public infrastructure. Spiritual? Yes, of course. Nobody can lead it better. And in the herbal space, herbal was more generic than just herbal therapeutics. Going back to nature, learning from nature, and then sort of taking it forward. I think we have to realize our competitive advantage rather than spending our energy on, and that is where it comes to NIMITLI, New Millennium Indian Technology Leadership Initiative. That was also formed because India needs daring, India needs risk-taking. I remember year 2000, 18 February, I got a call from Mr. Yashwant Sinha, who was the finance minister. Why I'm narrating these stories is that I'm 82-year-old now. I have seen a lot. I've done a lot. I've failed a lot. I've learned a lot. So I thought some of this I will share. How things happen. Okay? So I got a call from Mr. Yashwant Sinha. Mashelkar, this is year the new millennium will start now, 2000. And I want something exciting from you, which I can announce in the budget that the scientists will be excited about. Now, very frankly, year 2000 was not the new millennium. It was 2001 that was the new millennium. But how to tell this to finance minister? I said, yes, sir, it is the year of the new millennium. And then, sir, how much time do I have? He said, half an hour. In Delhi, you normally have half an hour. So I called, Kalra and dictated New Millennium Indian Technology Leadership Initiative. Leadership was written in capital letters. In terms of technology, modern technology I'm talking about, what is it that we have given to the rest of the world? We have been followers. And we took credit in fast follower. That means any new molecule will come, 18 months we'll copy. And of course, that made India the pharmacy of the world, generics, etc. There's nothing wrong in it because our patent laws allowed it. They don't allow it now from 1/1/2005. But how do you do? And then my thesis was that Indian industry does not take risks. Okay? Their R&D budgets are small. So government will take the risk. Government will give money at 0% interest, I had said that. And money to be returned, Ashwin Bhai, only if we succeed. Otherwise, it is written off. So it was not venture capital, it was adventure capital. And it was announced, and it was a deal between me and him. Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi heard it for the first time in the parliament, although he was Minister of Science and Technology. Planning Commission, who wrote the check, heard it afterwards. That's the way things are done. And what difference it made? Today, when you talk about fuel cell, hydrogen economy, green hydrogen, etc., India has one of, I would not even say one of the best fuel cell technology created by KPIT Technologies, partnering with NCL, Sekri Kudi, and so on and so forth. How good is it? The normal fuel cell, state of the art, requires $1,000 to $1,200 per kilowatt. This is half of it, 400, 450. And almost 100% indigenous is getting commercialized this month. Way ahead of the time. But we started the work in 2002 when nobody talked about it. Because Indian industry had always worked where markets were certain and technology was certain. Here we were entering into an area where markets were not known, technology was not known. You get the point, in a different quadrant altogether. And that is where we got into the programs where you, Ashok, Bhushan, all of you contributed, basically. So it is very interesting what we are talking about. We are talking about New Millennium Indian Technology Leadership Initiative. But we are dependent upon the ancient insights to create that technology leadership. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say that this is our wealth, this is our richness. People say, I used to say India is a poor country where rich people live. Our richness is this, Richness is our spirit of living. Richness are our values. Richness is our biodiversity. Richness is our tremendous wealth of our indigenous knowledge. You know, why are we not making use of that richness? Now we talk about $5 trillion, $30 trillion economy, etc., but we are not sort of actually making sort of use of it. And therefore, I think it comes naturally that we should be working sort of on this. I'm a great believer in Ayurveda. As we know, Ayurveda literally means science of life. It actually dates back long before the emergence of life sciences, which have now become so fashionable. And if you see, it's the earliest formal system of earth care, earliest framework of systematized knowledge of health and healthcare. And its framework is not only self-consistent, but also uses cause and effect arguments in to correlate manifestations of sickness, its causes and its treatment. And this framework was developed in ancient India. That is what we have to realize. And I'm very proud of this notion of a molecule did not exist, nor was the cell and the role it plays in life processes known. And at that time, this was developed. The discoveries of DNA and functional genomics lay more than 3,000 years in the future, and yet, in spite of all this, Ayurveda offered effective treatments for many disorders, particularly those with multiple causes, and for some degenerative diseases, most Indians consider it to be the treatment of last resort. And I've seen, and I was just telling my friends in the car how Professor Sharma, my guru, had certain problems. You know, he got the best of advice, best of treatment, couldn't work, and finally, it is Nadi Vaidya Mr. Bhatt in Pune who sort of helped him, Dr. Tilak. His daughter was in Boston, a great sort of physician. Nothing can be done, and finally, so that was considered as a last resort. But does it have to consider as a last resort? What we are talking about is that going to it in desperation is the last resort. Why don't we integrate it? And that is where the integration actually comes in. And of course, the 20th century has revealed some of the greatest insight into our understanding of life at successively higher levels of organization. Molecules, subcellular organelles, cells, tissues, organs, organisms, species, and the entire ecosystem, in that order, if you see. But a remarkable feature of modern medicine is its close integration with basic sciences, like physics, chemistry, and biology. For example, take gene therapy. Okay? The structure of DNA would not have been known if X-ray crystallography didn't exist. So that was a modern physics helping into that and then getting into gene therapy. And why don't we integrate that as far as this is? This is what Ashok ji has taught us. This is what Rama has taught us. And this is what I believe. I remember when I was the president of Indian Science Congress, Richard Ernst, the Nobel laureate, had come. Functional NMR, he got the Nobel Prize. And in terms of acupuncture, he had published a paper in Proceedings of National Academy of Science, showing why it works the way it works. You know, by looking at cellular and molecular biological levels, why can't we do that? And I'm very happy that that is happening. Our terminology is changing now. For example, Dr. Valyathan, when he talked about Ayurvedic biology, he was talking about, when Ayurgenomics, for example, there was a paper by Mithali, as you know, from Indian Institute of Integrative Biology. Again, the integrative word comes in there. That was in PNAS, you know. And Kapha Pitta Vat appeared for the first time in Proceedings of National Academy of Science. Can you just see the advance? Or, I mean, the way now, reverse pharmacology, for example, which again, we owe it to Ashok and Bhushan Patwardhan, and I have a paper on reverse pharmacology in terms of new drug discovery. My only concern is the following. People call me a dangerous optimist, people call me Durdamya Ashavadi, and so on and so forth. In fact, my biography has been titled as Durdamya Ashavadi. So when I speak, people say, oh my God, he's exaggerating. But no, in 1995, I remember giving the Thapar Memorial Lecture, chaired by then Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. And I talked about India's emergence as a global R&D platform. And people say, as usual, he's exaggerating. But what happened? Today, more than 1,200 R&D centers around the world are here. Okay? Of course, Indian IQ is creating IP for them. That's a different matter. And many of the companies, 1/3 of their global IP comes from Indian minds. So the power of the Indian mind is absolutely incredible. Okay? So I'm very optimistic that not only these systems that we are talking about, what we are building, basically, I think finally they say purpose, perseverance, and passion matters. Perseverance is all about, quitters are never winners, winners are never quitters. So never giving up. And I think this must be pursued with great patience and perseverance, and we will achieve our goal, basically. We have a destination, by the way. I would like to see, because I'm 82, all of us belong to that category in my lifetime. If not later, but preferably sooner rather than later, it is possible that these knowledge systems will become the universally accepted knowledge system. And finally, a word, Ashwini, about you, Kamleshji, and those who have helped. In yesterday's talk, I said this, compassion. Because CSR, corporate social responsibility, 2% of net profit has to be given. Fine, but you cannot legislate compassion. It must come from here. You came and helped because CSR rules did not exist at that time. You did it because, I think, I would say it is not the compassionate capitalism that people talk about. It is all about compassionate humanism, where India should be leading. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful address. We are privileged to have you with us today. As we commemorate 15th Foundation Day of our esteemed institution, it is with great excitement that we share some upcoming highlights that we add even more value to our special day. In the spirit of continuous learning and growth, we are thrilled to announce a series of webinars, training courses, workshops that will take place in coming months. Our lineup includes diverse range of transdisciplinary topics in the areas of education, research, and services. We are privileged to have expert speakers and facilitators who are leaders in their respective fields. We request our chief guest, Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, to release this brochure of the events.
I'm going entirely by whatever you say.
The first event was recipe competition with writer. The topic was from your kitchen, spices, herbs of medicinal value. The second event was quiz competition on skin manifestations of selected systemic conditions. These two competitions we have already conducted. Next upcoming event is webinar on early diagnosis and prevention of cervical cancer with a focus on integrative medicine, which is planned to be conducted on 17th March 2024. Okay. So far we have 32 registrations from various biomedical and medical students and faculty. Next event we are planning is conceptual, theoretical, and practical training on biomedical techniques and instruments. This training program is designed for postgraduate and PhD students who wants to learn any analytical instruments and techniques. Next is webinar, training program, and workshop on screening of medicinal plants for a spectrum of bioactivities. The program is designed for postgraduate and PhD students and researchers who aspire to already working or medicinal plant bioactives. This will be conducted in the month of May. Now we are providing statistical analysis services to MSc and PhD students and researchers for their publication and thesis at a very reasonable cost. Steps to Swasthya or Sapta Swasthya Sopan is an ongoing program at KIHS-MRF where the integrative healthcare approach facilitates body, mind, as well as social and spiritual well-being. Another program that is scheduled to be conducted in the month of August is Integrative Lifestyle Management for Diabetes mellitus. This program aims to create an interactive and integrative training module in medical students, practitioners, and dietitians. Another event that is planned in September 2024 is Principles of Ayurvedic Dietetics, which will cover all the aspects of Poshan and Ahar. Maitreyi program was initiated by Dr. Rama Vaidya and Dr. Ashok Vaidya in memory of Dr. Meena Shringi and Dr. Pratibha Mehta. It's a community healthcare endeavor creatively evolved for women at and above 40 years. A multidisciplinary trans-system adolescent health clinic for well-being and care is proposed by a multidisciplinary team of experts. And this clinic is proposed to be operational from July 2024. Anshu is a program for pediatric rehabilitation. It encompasses a range of need-based specialized training that is provided by medical, paramedical, and special education professionals. Our physiotherapy and rehabilitation center provides services for back problems. The program is called Back School. They give advice and suggest exercise for healthy back. Another service that is provided by our rehabilitation center is fall prevention and healthy aging. This program focuses on providing a better quality of life, promotes maximum function and independence within person's capability. Foot Assessment Clinic provides services for gait corrective exercises, pain-relieving modalities, and orthotic support, also therapeutic modalities for corn, callus, and diabetic foot. Counseling and support services are available at our center to manage stress with resilience, to have emotional control, and to identify early, potentially serious mental disorder. Thank you, sir.
I've done any number of these in our field, but this is a unique one. Innovation.
Thank you, sir. These webinars and workshops will be conducted virtually and physically, making accessible to all. Details about registration dates and specific topics will be shared through our official communication channels.
First, and having Dr. V. Prakash as guest of honor with us elevates it to the momentous occasion. We request Dr. Mona Shah to introduce our guest of honor.
Thank you, Sharvai. Can I? It was such a proud privilege, sir, to listen to you, and particularly you mentioned about compassion, integration, and inclusivity. I think we live up to that for our kids. So it was wonderful hearing, sir. In Sanskrit it said, Anna Danam Param Danam, Vidya Dana Mata Param. So it's my proud privilege to introduce someone. He has spread his wings over the whole Vishwa, as his name suggests, with knowledge of Anna. So here I am to introduce the well-known global Indian scientist, Dr. Vishweshwaraya Prakash, on this wonderful day. Dr. V. Prakash was born and educated in Mysore. He and his wife, Professor Jamna Prakash, former head of the Department of Nutrition at University of Mysore, are blessed with 2 sons. He humbly thanks his entire family, teachers, friends, and his students for their contribution, sacrifice, and support and specially to Dr. Mashelkar for his forever support in his career to serve the nation. I think he deserves the big round of applause. Sir is here. Dr. V. Prakash served as the youngest and the long-standing director of the globally famous institute CFTRI Mysore from 1980 to 1994, starting at the very young age of 43. During his term, he established excellent connectivity in the less known fields of chemistry and physics of food with industries and academia nationally and globally. In 2011, he became Distinguished Scientist of CSIR, which has nurtured him from 1970 till today. Even after 55 years, he continues with his commitments and service to society. He is the first Indian scientist to head two global UN-affiliated organizations. One is IU Post and as honorary president, and at IUNS as honorary vice president. Friends and all colleagues, and you are free to applaud whenever you want to, because it's going to continue. With his keen interest to use a plant-based approach to fight child undernutrition and has advanced food and nutrition policies globally. His contribution to India's midday meals, one of the largest school lunch programs in the world, has impacted more than 12 crore children in 11.20 lakh schools across the country, and we as a and how can we not have seen? We, Deepak Bhai, as a Rotarian, has witnessed it in school, every school. So I think it's a great, great thing. He showed how scientific organizations can gear up for disasters such as tsunami in 2004 on the east coast of India, when CSIR and CFTRI stood tall and supplied traditional food of Tamil Nadu to more than 500,000 stranded and displaced people within the first 10 days of disaster 24/7. The full support of CSIR in that situation was ably provided by Dr. R.M. Mashelkar. Sir, I think his introduction has lots about you also. So it's like societal reach out and awareness of food science, local solutions to global problems, including climate change and food insecurity, is Dr. Prakash's top priority currently. He addressed the Global Conference of Climate Change Scientists on actions needed for sustainable food by 2050 Future Earth program in Montreal, Canada in 2023. His voluminous and memorable contributions include CSIR for over 55 years, his contributions to other organizations like ICAR, ICMR, DRDO, DBT, UGC, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. List goes on. He was scientific consultant to the principal scientific advisor to Government of India for nearly 8 years. As chair to Nutraceuticals Regulation of India, he was a game changer, freeing India's shekels, particularly the US $400 billion global industry helped India to emerge as a global player. Friends, it requires a big round of applause. Formulation of regulations for beverages and bottled water and recommendations of the Committee for the Establishment of FSSAI. He contributed to the Basmati patent victory for India led by again Dr. Mashelkar. Now you can continue clapping. More than 218 scientific research publications, 20 books and 14 more in the pipeline, 55 patents and 986 addresses at various forums, keeps and upholds an India-centric approach, including his pet subject of Ayurveda, homeopathy, and traditional practices of India, from agriculture to food to medicine. He is chairman of the Technical Advisory Board of KIHS-MRF, allowing him to learn from Dr. Ashok Vaidya about reverse pharmacology to reserve nutraceutics. He is a fellow, and that's how we can also meet him sometimes. He is a fellow of most of the academics in India and the Royal Society of Chemistry, UK, IU Forst, Canada, and IFT, USA. He's an excellent sportsman, and he didn't lose his regime this morning also. His awards include Padma Shri Award from Government of India for his contribution to science and technology to nation building, Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Award for Science and Technology, the Rajyotsava Award at Karnataka, more than 15 Lifetime Achievement Awards, 17 national and international awards. Last month, not but the least, he is awarded, was crowned as the doyen of modern Indian food science and technology by none other than Dr. Somnath, chairman of ISRO in the AFSTI, which occurs once in every 5 years Congress at Mysore. Friends, all colleagues, and all respected guests, presenting you Dr. V. Prakash.
I wrote here good morning, but now it's good afternoon. I correct. A great day, and thank you, Mona, for briefing me also. Sometimes it's so nostalgic to hear every scene passes in front of you. And therefore, in this afternoon, without taking much time, first of all, it's such a great pleasure to be here. There is some vibration here. This vibration is Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan, my very close friend, and Dr. Garg, of course, and Dr. Rama Vaidya, and of course Dr. Ashok Vaidya, and Dr. Deepak Dave, and Ashwini Kumar Rawat, and many others who have really made this organization very proud from almost nothing, The principles were there, as Dr. Garg said, but to fill up meat, bone, blood, and everything, it became a very, very difficult task for this organization. In this 15th Foundation Day, so many things have been talked already. You know, it's very, very difficult to talk after Dr. Mashelkar speaks because he would have covered a global perspective and I'll be talking a few local perspective. So therefore, to synergize and to fuse the local to global is not very difficult because he has already given an overarching picture, and to pick up one local thread in there is not difficult for me. But I will try my best to be brief so that it doesn't intrude in anybody's time. Very importantly, the first meeting that I had with Dr. Ashok Vaidya was in a CSR meeting, which Dr. Mashelkar had summoned. Till then, Vaidya is a doctor, that's all I knew, but not Ashok Vaidya. Vaidya means I am not well. But this one was a permanent medicine to my life. And I think that's where Dr. Ashok Vaidya and Dr. Rama Vaidya made a lot of difference in my career in terms of a meeting in Bangalore later on. And that was the first nutraceutical brainstorming to be launched in Mumbai, the same place, in 2000 year when Dr. Sushma Swaraj was there. The first nutraceutical summit. But the Honorable Minister at that time, what she was, the Health and the Family Welfare, she said, I don't agree on this. First nutraceutical summit. The first nutraceutical summit must have been held in the foothills of Himalayas. And nobody has documented that. So never ever say first nutraceutical. That made us so humble, so humble. But it carried on for 15 years. And finally, with the team spirit, we brought in, with the help of CSR and Dr. Mashelkar and many others, Dr. Ashok Vaidya, Bhushan Patwardhan, Dr. Narayan and others, that I can say first, the first nutraceutical regulations in the world. But 15 days later, it was available in China in Chinese language as Chinese nutraceutical regulation. So therefore, I remember at that time Dr. Mashelkar telling, in science, the first and the last are remembered. I always remember that. So we became first in as a Bharat. We became first. But last, I don't know when. I don't know who. But chances are very less because they're upgrading it. One of the clauses there is every year you have to upgrade the regulation with the modern science. Otherwise, there's always the old quotation of 1955 regulation. Now, 2025 regulation, what we need to do. On January 1st every year, that gets modified. And that's very important with the latest. So therefore, these are the feelings that I had in the morning when I was thinking about this meeting. But from the Bhavan Spark all the way of the 20-year journey which Dr. Amavidya mentioned, all the way to the ancient insights and the modern discoveries, Valiathan's message at that time was very important. He said Spark pioneered that reverse pharmacology concept, and it is heard as reverse pharmacology, not going back, but actually reverse in the forward gear because something is already done. And therefore, it is the rich heritage that comes into our picture of the spark ignition. The word spark has ignited. And that ignition is continuing to burn in here right now with a huge amount of eco-friendly fuel that you are creating yourself with a young blood here. The average age of this room must be about 30 years. And that therefore we are fully energized to hear and making it as MRC and KHS. And many times we talk it as KHS and MRC. Some of us say MRC, KHS, but it all means the same. So therefore, it is very important for us to look at it. KHS, the 15th Foundation Day, 2007, 2011, 2012, it entered into a very strategic relationship with ICMR. In fact, I would say the other way around. ICMR entered into a strategic relationship with KHS, not the other way around. Because this is where, like in food science, there is one institute called Institute of Food Technology in Chicago. Everybody wants to go to that institute like CFTRI Mysore. But when you go there, the whole IFT is operated in one room. So this is one such center which is not the space, not 95 acres of land of CFTRI, but those 95 people or 100 people who are here. So therefore, with that, they touched upon the malaria, aging, neuronal connections, the osteoarthritis, I think Ashwini remembers very well, the ethics in biomedical research. And I'm sure Jayashree Joshi remembers that. And all these, for about 15 years, have made a big challenge for observational therapeutics. Observational therapeutics, Dr. Ramavidya mentioned in her initial talk, are so important because that's where distilled knowledge comes in. Ayurvedic plants and oncostatic potential, as well as Prakriti genomics, a word which is so close to Dr. Vaidya's ears. Prakriti genomics is so important, which will lead the way to Ayur genomics. And that Ayur genomics and the Prakriti genomics, with I would call the golden triangle, there was another human golden triangle of Prakriti genomics. That was Dr. Mashelkar, Dr. Ashok Vaidya, and Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan. That Prakriti genomics is impossible to break through by anybody because that has knowledge barrier. Unless you are knowledgeable, you can't even speak to that. So therefore, that is something that is protecting the Indian. And in Indian knowledge, in that, one more kudos to Dr. Mashelkar and all others, including Dr. Ashok Vaidya, is the creation of traditional knowledge digital library in CSR. When Dr. Mashelkar fought the Basmati patent, I think everybody was of the, we can't penetrate your literature, we don't know where you are kept. So the answer was, here it is. For legal people, a para. For scientists, a long treatise. It's up to you, but everything costs money. But compassion rules in. And the second patent, Basmati patent, when we fought, those TKDL facilitated us so much to win that a paper published somewhere in some remote newsletter of ICAR, which they lost it by some chance, was found in Rimini in Italy. And when that was quoted, the whole bomb was diffused. So the bomb of basmati was diffused by a wrong patenting. But just one newsletter published which says 2,800 parts per million of 2-acetyl-pyrrolene was being grown in India way back. And that's enough. Sorry, sir, you have not done your job very well in literature survey and prior art. It is there. So therefore, top to bottom, the only one sentence which was not changed was, the following are the claims. That was not changed. All the claims were gone. So therefore, dear friends, dear students, teachers, it is this knowledge that need to be really, but those days for almost 8 months I was in CSR guest house, thanks to Dr. Mashelkar, just eating there and just making the thing. There were no lawyers. I think Dr. Mashelkar remembers Kumar and Sagar learned the art of fighting from turmeric patent, applied it to basmati, and then to idli, and then to wheat, and then they climbed up. So therefore, I think this, even the legal people got trained by CSR. What more do you want in that? In that, I want to make last 5 minutes of my talk. The past is that, I would say, from Spark to KHS. At present, what is happening is the Ayurvidya and also the Rasayana Shastra, along with pharmacoepidemiology, phycopharmacology, physiotherapy, all the way to Mona, what she is doing, dental clinics even, have all made a difference in the current practices between 2008 and 2009 in this center, what launched up. Along with sarcopenia of aging, we all get aged and the sarcopenia sets in and it's very difficult to reverse it. It's not easy to become young and run in the Juhu beach. So therefore, all these were addressed in the current setup of KHS. And along with the other part of the problem of obesity, and a plethora of publications came in. Subsequently, after Dr. Shobha Udupi, there are many Shobhas, many Jayashrees, and many Joshis here. So I'm particularly telling Dr. Shobha Udupi made a difference in introducing nutrition. That's where the world, Dr. Vaidya will not leave that opportunity. Dr. Vaidya said, reverse nutraceutics. Amazing, amazing. And that was in 2019, 2018, COVID time, about to come, everything grinding halt. But KHS did not.
You coined Ayurvedic.
Yeah.
She's a director of Ayurvedic.
Great. And that's when I was thinking, KHS never sleeps. And there was, even in COVID, there were many people who used to come here, take risk. And Dr. Mashelkar very clearly mentioned risk-taking is an inborn gift for Indians. When we cross the road, we take so much risk that the car driver gets scared. So we stop them, we stop here, we stop back, we stop front. And nowadays we have to stop on the top because drone may come from the top. So with that, I would say in 2020, I got the opportunity to humbly chair and learn more from KHS as the chairman of the Technical Advisory Board, with, of course, Dr. Garg's full help, and I'm learning every day on that. And that's where you find a mega list of projects going on. I'm not going to list all that because Dr. Rama Vaidya listed. But with having said that, I would just like to say, what is the future in store for us? Let us see the future. This 15th Foundation Day, how does it reach the 50th Foundation Day? How does it reach? Like we are talking about Amrit Kal in 1947, and what we are going to see there, India is number one economy in the world. What does KHS look at 2050? But I don't want to talk that high. Let us talk about 2030 for the time being. Yeah. Huge amount of quantum leap in professionalisms will happen. We have to be aware of it. It's not one KHS, There will be 100 KHS in India because every university sees the potential, starts it. So therefore, we need to be aware and we need to look at quality of the final bioactives with stringent regulation. The only one place in the world which has done work on Basma in all the 27 steps of making Basma is KHS. You will never find that literature backed up with science in any other country, in any other place. Having done so, we quickly publish in some paper. But then it gets lost. So how do we capitalize our knowledge publication? On the one side, curriculum vitae has to flourish. On the other side, the economy also has to flourish of KIHS-MRF. So how are we going to build a 100-story building here? It's not the question that I'm asking. I'm asking the medicinal plant farming from agro to aerospace is very important to look at aerospace to agro, which the reverse pharmacology, what concept is, in terms of formulation of the ecosystem, from the ecosystem, startup of ecosystem from the beginning, how can we push the bioactives higher? Shobha is doing with the SNDT student, some of these small gardening, academia excellence and pursuit in spite of starvation of funds. Starvation of funds will not starve us, but money is essential. So therefore, it is time that we look at a new way of collaboration, cooperation, and correspondence, as well as complete storytelling rather than partial storytelling. Just like A1, A2 milk was millions of rupees were going out of India, when we talked with you, as you know, as a person who took me to airport, the whole conversation was on A1, A2 milk, how do we stop it? There's nothing like A1 and A2 milk. Somebody made a cocktail of that and said, if that is so, the entire population of India should have been diabetic. And yes, India is the capital of diabetes. Why? We are 1.4. Maximum number of schools in the world. Maximum number of girls in the world. Maximum number of city buses in the world. Because everything is 1.4 billion. Plus, India produces 4 billion meals a day. So it is also number one. Nobody quotes that. 4 billion meals a day, whether it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever. Every day, 3 times eating. 4 billion meals. Whether you are growing or not, if you don't do that, you will be out. So therefore, the challenges here are number games and a small idea into multiple systems. And that's where the startup system, which so much is important in DBT, we have an aeroceutical startup system, which really works on the future of nutraceuticals. Therefore, in summary, I would say, India has transformed itself into a nutraceutical and aeroceutical country for sure. There is no second thought about it. In every one of your slides, you put that as number one and not a rickety child in the street. That is not our objective. That rickety child might be my own child. Will I put that photo? Because that so happens. It is very important to say this. India has transformed itself into a nutraceutical and aeroceutical country backed on scientific evidence and evidence-based science. Very important. And in the laboratories of CSR, KHS, and the Pune group, I would say very, very, very proudly, and many others, including Rajkot Medical Center. I have a special love for Rajkot for obvious reasons. And the value for overall health and wellness of people. This is an important quotation that we must propagate, whether we talk on biophysics or fundamental particles of physics. This slide should be a permanent slide from our group, whichever we are. So very important that India is leader in that, and we have evidence. The nutraceutical market is estimated to grow at 15% between now and 2030. Not 2050, 2030. So therefore, in 6 years, we are growing at 15% per annum of a total of what? US dollars $6,115 million as of today. As of 24th January, 2 days before Republic Day, this is the figure quoted. And so that will be at 15% growth. we want to be a partner there in the knowledge. Not only that, we want to be a partner there in the income and revenue also. Without that, just knowledge may not. So what are the pathways of that? We will discuss in our tab meeting. We will take it forward. I don't want this to be a divergence here, even though it's not confidential, but we have to discuss, take both ways. Last but one point is, the translational research is not limited to KHS. It has to be through industry, like the almond work. Eat 8 almonds a day, remove the peel in the morning and swallow it. There is so much science in it, but California almond themselves don't know the science. But they want KHS to give the science, and not in the packet that this research was done in KHS. So 90% of India's almond is California almond. And why not? 100% of that research that almond is good for health is KHS. But of course you have a confidentiality clause, but it is important that Indian research, not only in doing research, but also commercial, as Dr. Mashelkar rightly said, 2% of net profit CSR. That CSR is corporate social responsibility, has to be a concerned social responsibility. That CSR has to be done by Almond California. Kwong, who is the CEO, was talking to me the other day. I mentioned this to him, not mentioning KHS, but now I will boldly mention in the next meeting I meet him. I would say rich heritage, government initiatives, R&D risky project with dismal investment is our risk of KHS here. Global market reach and also carbon footprint. I'll be publishing that article in Bhushan's journal very shortly, even though it's from Elsevier, I call it Bhushan's journal because he has done the first Indian journal, which we are so proud. The carbon footprint, when you calculate, of a homeo is the least in the world. Is the least in the world. Why? You are talking about below Avogadro's number. When you take a pill of homeopathy, whether 4 or 5 pills for 3 days, whether arsenicum albumum or lycopodium or whatever you call it, but then those extracts came from the Ayurvedic extracts of plants. And in turn, Ayurvedic drugs are prepared from it. And the residue is not thrown out. So if you take the total cycle, I made a long calculation. Maybe in the month of April, I will send it to the journal. And that should be a good mother document for somebody to follow. In this world of pharmacology, of course, pharma is important for critical care. But a healthy person, when he takes something, to be more healthy and boost his immune system. And all the people have learned that nutrition's word, Dr. Shobha Udupi, during COVID. Before COVID, many did not know nutrition and immunity are related. They thought immunity is given by doctor and nutrition is given by mother or wife. No, these two are related. Everybody says zinc. Everybody says and nutrition which is rich in color, eat vegetables. So nutrition got related. And today, KHS has the fusion of aeroseuticals and nutraceuticals and at the same time nutraceutics. And I'm sure in doing so, I would say, keep the carbon footprint low, and by more talking, I would increase the carbon footprint. Instead of that, I would say in my closing remarks, I wish KHS, MRC, Dirghayushman Bhavantu. All the best, and never ever worry for funding. Be bold, go forward, and a day will come when you'll say, I didn't know that I could do this. That's very important. But the best of you has not come yet. The best of you have not come yet. So thank you very much, Mona, for introducing me, and thank you, Dr. Mashelkar, for staying to hear my talk, and thanks to Vaidya and Vaidya, including Vidita. Thank you.
We'll continue with the program. Please, every guest among us today is a testament to their commitment to Ayurveda and reverse pharmacology. We are deeply honored to have them grace this occasion with their presence. We request Dr. Sashena Fanivanda to introduce our guest of honor, Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan.
I take pleasure in introducing Professor Bhushan Patwardhan. He is a distinguished professor of health sciences, a biomedical scientist, and ethnopharmacologist with over 40 years of experience in higher education, scientific research, and institutional governance. He serves as the chairman of the interdisciplinary Ayush R&D Task Force on COVID-19 and India lead WHO Global Center for Traditional Medicine Task Force. He serves as a senior consultant and co-chair of an advisory group for the WHO Traditional Medicine Global Summit and Global Center for Traditional Medicine of the WHO Geneva. Until March 2021, Professor Patwardhan served as the Vice Chairman of the University Grants Commission, New Delhi, and Chairman of the Indian Council of Social Science Research. Professor Patwardhan has served as the Director of the Interdisciplinary School of Health Sciences at Savitri Phule, Pune University, and has served on the boards of several Indian universities, CSIR, the Central Council for Research in Ayurvedic Sciences, and ICMR. He served as Chairman Executive Committee until March 2023 National Assessment and Accreditation Council. He has worked on several policy-making committees and task forces of the National Knowledge Commission, Niti Aayog, United Nations organizations, the World Bank, and so on. He has made original contributions in evidence-based Ayurveda, especially in Ayurvedic biology, ethnopharmacology, natural drug development, and integrative approaches to improve public health systems. His pioneering contributions on novel concepts such as therapeutic adjuvants and reverse pharmacology are widely recognized. He has used modern scientific approaches for evidence-based Ayurvedic medicine. He has used an array of advanced technologies for the identification, separation, and standardization of botanical pharmaceuticals. He developed novel pharmacological models to study botanical immunoadjuvants and created holistic clinical protocols that gave a unique identity to contemporary research in Ayurveda. Professor Patwardhan has delivered invited lectures at many national and international platforms. He has received several research grants and holds several Indian and US patents with more than 175 scientific publications with over 11,400 citations to his credit. He is on the editorial boards of many reputed institutions and journals and is listed amongst the world's top 2% of scientists by Stanford University. He is the recipient of many orations and awards, including the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Award, Dr. R.P. Devdas Oration 2020, Hafkin Oration 2014, Dr. P.K. Devi Oration 2011, to name just a few. I thank Professor Bhushan Patwardhan for making it convenient to be with us today and take pleasure in inviting him to deliver his address. Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan.
Audible? Yes?
So you're not audible.
I'm not audible?
Yeah,
Now I'm audible? Okay. No. Thank you. First, let me profusely apologize for not being with you. But as Ramaben mentioned, I'm with you with my heart and mind and also virtually. You know, Dr. Vaidya and Rama Vaidya, I have actually no words to talk to all of you today, and I'm just here to give my pranam and respect to both of them and the whole team of Medical Research Center, KIHS. Today, I'm not able to speak that well, and when Dr. Rama Vaidya called me, she said that two vibhutis are coming, As we know, the Marathi bhajan, Jagacha Kalyana संतांच्या विभूती, Sant Tukdoji Maharaj said that. And I don't know why Ramaben excluded herself from this vibhuti. Ramaben, you are no less than a vibhuti, and with the vibhutis actually meant for public good, the scientists today we witnessed here are also for global good. Dr. Mashelkar, Dr. Prakash, Dr. Garg, uh, Dr. Mashelkar and Dr. Vaidya have been my mentors. Dr. Vaidya actually spotted me almost 40 years ago, and I'm sure it was much before that. There is a kind of a not only educational knowledge relation, there is a spiritual connection with this whole family of KHS-MRC. I'm sorry for not being able to talk much, but please accept my best wishes. And I'm there for all the work which you and all the colleagues are doing. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Today we are privileged to have with us the Secretary of Kasturba Health Society Sevagram, Dr. B.S. Garg. We request Dr. Ashwini Kumar Rao to introduce Dr. Garg.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Now, I have a privilege to introduce Professor Dr. B.S. Garg. He is truly a friend, philosopher, and guide to us all at MRC. Whenever we have an issue or a problem, he is our contact person at KHS. And it is said, a friend in need is a friend indeed. That's why I said he is a friend. When I'm saying he is also a guide, because whenever we have to work on epidemiology and community medicine, he is our real man who can guide us. And we are in that epidemiological and community medicine. Shobha Madam and Ramaben are not there, but we have been pursuing with him. And he always resolves our issues, not only efficiently, but also effectively. And when it comes, he is a man of practical solutions. I said friend, philosopher, and guide. So when it comes to the philosopher, I must say he is a man of practical solutions, and he never gets entangled into philosophical quest, which may not be applicable every time. And we do get in that entanglement in the philosophical quest quite often. Dr. Garg, as we know, is the secretary of Kasturba Health Society, but he is also director of Dr. Sushila Nair School of Public Health. He is an emeritus professor of community medicine. He is in charge currently of WHO Collaborative Center for Training in Community-Based Maternal, Newborn, and Child. Usually we say maternal and child, but we forget about newborn. That is an important component of this program. Now, his biodata is really profound and rich. He has received many reputed fellowships in his early career. To quote a few, in 1989, he received Commonwealth Medical Fellowship at Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine. He also received fellowship in National Academy of Medical Science in early 1987, fellowship in Indian Public Association, Public Health Association, fellowship of Indian Association of Preventive and Social Medicine, fellowship in Indian Society for Malaria and Other Communicable Diseases, and so on. He has received many prestigious awards: Sri Sri Ram Memorial Award by NAMS, Dhanvantari Oration Award, Dr. Harishchandra Singh Oration Award by, again, Indian Association of Preventive and Social Medicine, Indian Epidemiology Oration Award in 2014, Rammurthy Oration Award, Dr. D.N. Pai and Dr. M.C. Pathak orations. Also, he has given the Maharashtra chapter of Indian Association of Preventive and Social Medicine. And I must say now, he has got research projects, more than 85 research projects so far. And these are all national and international. To quote a few, WHO, UNICEF, PATH, that is PATH, USAID, FIGO, INCLAIN, NACO, BIRAC, UNFPA, ICMR, Aga Khan Foundation, and so many others. Sir, the biodata which you had forwarded to me and what I could find out, that your scientific publications are more than 220 with a very high citation index. He has, to his credit, 22 monographs, 5 books, and many chapters. Dr. Garg has been member of and chairman of several committees related to the public health, particularly for Government of India, Government of Maharashtra, MCI, Medical Council of India, ICMR, WHO, and so on. Friends, finally to describe Professor B.S. Garg in nutshell, what I would say, he's a calm person, but very constructive. He's cooperative and considerate. He's critical but compassionate. And above all, he's a very caring human being. Now let us have few words from Dr. B.S. Garg.
Dr. Ashwini, for a kind word. I don't know from where you got all this information. See, I'm in the odd place. You all work in the laboratory, I work in the field. So it's altogether different.
Reverse pharmacology starts from the field.
Eh?
Reverse pharmacology starts from the field.
Yeah. So I work with the community. I work for the community and I have learned from the community itself. I remember a very funny thing. When I got this Commonwealth Medical Fellowship at Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine, my supervisor asked me, now you have to work in the laboratory. When I have never worked in the laboratory, I don't know how to use pipette. So I learned the basic laboratory techniques there and then did some work on immunoepidemiology, learned immunology and molecular biology and so on. But that's a history now. I have already spoken, I think. It doesn't look nice that you repeat again and again same thing. Dr. Ashwin, these all things are not important. The biggest award which I have received is from the community. Say we run nearly about 30 community-owned clinics in Wardha district, and they are totally financed by the community. In the small villages, we feel that villagers can't do anything. But for last 23 years, we are running these clinics, and we only provide technical support to them. We have not invested even single penny. And all these clinics, they have a committee and they have a good now capital with them, which can ensure that they will sustain the activity at least for next 10 to 15 years comfortably. So I think that is the best award because it gives a satisfaction. So that's how I say I am at odd place. See, I don't know about these all laboratories, etc. That's how I also requested you people. Now whatever you are learning, whatever knowledge you are generating here, in case I can help you to transfer this knowledge from the laboratories from the books, from the journals to the community. I think that will be a great thing. And let us do something about that.
Dr. Garg,
Uh,
if you recall,
uh,
ICMR DG, when Dr. Katoch was there,
uh,
his emphasis was translational.
uh,
And so whatever gets done really has to be translated.
yeah.
And your dedication to community medicine is internationally known, where it has reached to the most poor, the affordable in the sense of that the MGIMS. Additionally, you have had the knowledge and experience of community medicine such that it has gone across. If it touches also an inclusive for Ayurvedic physicians, where you have invited us now, so that would be something which we'll keep in mind for sure.
Yeah, but madam, I don't know much about this ayurvedical or nutraceutical. Because, say, for me, something new. And say, I have only just basic information about all these things. So that's how I say I am an odd person here. No? But certainly, as a secretary of Kasturba Health Society, I am here. I am really grateful to Professor Ashok Vaidya, Dr. Rama Vaidya, to invite me here. It's always really heartening to meet them, to have their blessings, and I'm sure that, madam, your blessing will be with us and will be with MRHS in the coming time, and we look forward, and I wish all the best for this MRC KHS. Thank you very much.
Friends who have selflessly contributed to the success and growth of KIHS-MRC. Their commitment to our cause has been nothing short but extraordinary. We request our benefactors to accept our token of appreciation from esteemed dignitaries. We have already felicitated Shri Ashwin Bhai Shroff, who has, we have no words we can describe the support and encouragement he has given us, not only to Dr. Ashok Vaidya, even to our students. Shri Umesh Bhai, Shri Yogen Bhai Lathia, and Srimati Shakuntala Ben Mehta, they could not join us today. They are the trustees of Stanakwasi Jain Aradhana Dham. They have provided us not just a physical frame, but a vibrant crucible for we scientists to nourish and grow our imagination and shape our discoveries. This has been represented by Chairman Shri Umesh Bhai and Yogen Bhai. We thank them all. We have with us Dr. Lal Hingorani from Pharmanza Private Limited, who is actively engaged in scientific research, and support from them has been extremely valuable, and they never gave us the stress that results should have been yesterday. We request Dr. Ashwini Kumar Rao to felicitate him. We have Mrs. Jyotiben Modi and Shri Pinakin Bhai. They have appreciated our enthusiasm for 15th Foundation Day celebration, and they actively supported and participated in today's preparations. Are they here? Some of the benefactors and friends could not join us here today. They are Shri Dilip Gokuldas, Chairman, Bombay Gorakshak Trust, Shri Bipin Bhavsar, Dr. Girish Soman from Nisarga Biotech, Shri Raiji Bhai Shah, Dr. Prabha Apte, and Dr. Dilip Mehta. On behalf of everyone associated with KIHS-MRC, we extend our heartfelt thanks to all of you for playing a pivotal role in the development of our center. Dr. H.B. Singh is here with us, who has judged our competitions. We would like to felicitate him also. I request Dr. Rao to please felicitate him.
Now we move on to the prize distribution ceremony of various competitions we conducted on the occasion of Foundation Day. The first competition was a recipe competition with a write-up. The topic was From Your Kitchen, Spices or Herbs of Medicinal Value. The participants were interdisciplinary pairs, one from biomedical science, nutrition, dietetics, food science, food processing and technology and pharmacy, and the other from medical stream, Ayush or conventional medicine. Their recipes were based on one or more functional ingredient that have medicinal value. 11 pairs had registered. There are first, second, third prizes and 2 consolation prizes. Let's start with consolation prizes. We request Dr. Amonkar Sir, Academic Director, KIHS-MRF, and Dr. Jayashree Joshi to come on the dais to felicitate the winners. Consolation prize for the recipe competition goes to Dr. Sakshi Hadab and Dr. Shailaja Singh from APM Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya Sayan. Their recipe was coconut pandra rasa. And the second consolation prize goes to Dr. Shweta Deshpande from Kalpataru Ayurveda and Dr. Sanskriti Gaude from D.D. Vispute College of Pharmacy and Research Center. Few of the prize winners are not here today, so we will give them the prizes. Yeah. So Dr. Shweta is Shweta Deshpande from Kalpataru Ayurveda. The third prize is won by Dr. Preeti Yadav from D.Y. Patil School of Ayurveda and Dr. Mayuri Solanki from A.R. Patil Multi-Speciality Hospital. So, they are not here today. Yeah. The second prize is secured by Dr. Namrata Kamble from D.Y. Patil School of Ayurveda and Hospital Nerul, Navi Mumbai, and Dr. Mova Navya from D.Y. Patil College and Hospital Nerul, Navi Mumbai. Their recipe was Galactogog bar. The first prize winner for recipe competition is Dr. Apurva Kulkarni from D.Y. Patil deemed to be University School of Ayurveda, Nerul, Navi Mumbai, and Dr. Sankirta from D.Y. Patil School of Medicine, Nerul, Navi Mumbai. Their recipe was immunity boosting instant soup. Congratulations to all the participants. Thank you, Dr. Amankar sir and Jayashree Joshi ma'am. We come to the second competition, which was the quiz competition. The topic for that was skin manifestations of selected systemic conditions. This competition was a part of multidisciplinary and trans-system education program of KIHS-MRF. Participants were third year or MD students from Ayurveda, Unani and homeopathy colleges. There were 21 registrations. The participants were supposed to identify the skin condition, diagnostic modalities and management of the condition. There are again first, second, third and 2 consolation prizes. Let's start with consolation prize. We request Dr. B.S. Garg and Dr. V. Prakash to please felicitate the winners.
ICMR's Product Development Center. We thought better? Okay. Those who will take this message forward, to them it is extremely important. If you have a woman with amenorrhea, polycystic ovarian syndrome, does she go only to modern medical people? That means the diagnostic category has to be PCOS, which even modern medicine had come to learn towards perhaps lately only. And Dr. Jayashree Joshi always supports this idea very much, that if you diagnose PCOS, woman doesn't know whether Ayurvedic physician will not be able to treat. It's so important that Ayush-led medical schools must be equipped with hormone assays, otherwise they should be allowed to outsource. They also should have diagnostic other modalities like sonography and many more. So if they don't have that, they should have, or they have it, then also they should have experts to help them. That also can be outsourcing. Because if you don't have multidisciplinary trans-system dialogues, then many times this is not properly treated. And they might be treating better, because metformin itself is a medicinal plant product. So how that has been accepted? And so they should not hesitate to prescribe. Now, mixopathy is a word propagated by those who are interested in commercial aspects of medicine and not necessarily appropriate aspects of medicine. Huh? Yeah, very true, very true. Yeah. So I think that this was an extremely important thing to take it to, this was taken only to Ayurvedic schools? Homeopathy and Ayush, yeah. So it's an important concept and maybe can be propagated.
So I request Dr. V. Prakash sir and Dr. Garg sir to felicitate the winners. The consolation prize for quiz competition goes to Dr. Sampada Bhure from Association of Research and Homeopathy, Airoli, and Vaidya Shubhda Agarwal from APM Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Sayan. So we have Dr. Sampada Bhure here. The third prize winner is Dr. Aditya Indani from R.A. Poddar Ayurvedic Medical College. He is not here. The second prize is secured by by Vaidya Suman Kaude from APM Ayurved Mahavidyalaya, Sayan. I think she is also not here. The first prize winner for the quiz competition is Dr. Rujuta Soni from Yerla Homeopathy Medical College. So the participants have not. None. Any representative from the same college is here? Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
As we conclude this event, we would like to take a moment to express our gratitude to all those who have made this gathering truly special. We invite Dr. Nutan Nabar, Dean, KIHS-MRF, to articulate our collective appreciation and gratitude.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'm here to offer vote of thanks. It is important but lovely duty. I know I'm in between you and your lunch, but I won't take much time. In the beginning, let us thank Almighty God. We have invited Him. We requested Him be with us for this successful event, and the event has gone success. And I would like to thank God and asking them, come again, Ishtakama Prasiddhartham Punaragamanaaya. Friends, from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank our chief guest, Dr. Mashelkar. In spite of busy schedule and with one duty, which is domestic duty that he called, he was here with us, and that just shows his affection and love to Dr. Vaidya and our institute. Dr. Mashelkar has really added extra sparks to this event today. I express my appreciation to guest of honors for gracing the occasion. Dr. Prakash, thank you very much for coming all the way from the Mysore and giving a motivational speech. And he is our chairperson of TAP committee, and we have his guiding light all the way. I'm sure in the future also he will be guiding us for the years. Thank you. I take opportunity to thank Dr. Garg also. Thank you, Dr. Bhushan sir. He is always with us to help guide. We say in Sanskrit, Yojakastatra Durlabha. That is the facilitators. They are very rare. And he is one of the facilitators. Shri Dhirubhai Mehta, we are in debt of him. Thank you for the trust that he has shown on us. His unwavering support has been instrumental in our growth and development. Lots of thanks to benefactors for their love, atmiyata, and commitment and the trust. Friends, an event of such a dimension cannot happen overnight, and that's why I'm grateful to all my seniors, all my colleagues who have taken a task tirelessly since 2 months to make this for. Rajiv Bhai, special thanks to you. He has been looking after all audio visuals and the recordings and photographs, catching the all candid photos also. Thank you, sir. At the end, I must thank the breadth and the strength of our institute. The breadth has been Dr. Ashok Vaidya, and the strength of the institute, backbone of the institute, being Dr. Madam. More thanks to you, madam. Wait, I have not done yet at all. I would like to thank your special audience, which is offline, presenting over here, giving your special time to us, and the online, they are there for this event also. Thank you very much. Thank you. I would like to thank those who are present over here and those who are not present over here. However, they have given us the blessings for this and for in future. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. As we come to the end of our celebration, let's carry the spirit of this day to our hearts. Here's to many more years of excellence and togetherness. We request you to rise for the national anthem. Jana Gana Mana Adhinayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkal Banga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchchal Jaladi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाए तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे. Thank you, everyone. Please join us for the lunch at ground floor.